Hello everyone, welcome to next section of our video. So as in the previous section I have told you what is a layout, why it is used, and the layout file which is used in our app, that is activity main.xml file, which is basically located in the res layout folder for your project. So now in the coming sections I'll first tell you about the different layout types, and then we will discuss about the main layout which is used in our app and how we are customizing that, so that you have a better understanding and you know actually why we are using that kind of layout rather than using any other layouts. So in this section I'll tell you Android layout types. So as you know, there are different layouts which are provided by Android for the almost all Android applications to provide different view, look and feel. So that's the basic requirement of designing a layout, how you want your app to be looked like. So for a different kind of look and feel, you design a different layouts. So this is some pictorial diagram which I have shown where you can see I have just mentioned a linear layout and its different views, how it's mentioned. Then a relative layout, again it's divided into different views. So all these parameters, relative layout, layout param, you will be able to see in your main activity main.xml file, which is a layout file. Just let me open the studio. So if you can see this one here, in our app we have used a relative layout, and these are the different you can say parameters which are defined in this layout file, which anyways I'll be discussing. But if I see the design view of this is how the layout is designed. You have a click on fruits name is the button, and this is the layout where you can see this marking. So this is how the layout is designed, and you can see here over here this blue color one, this is relative layout and activity main file, and this is your text view, this is your button view. So this is how your layout is there. Now next we'll see that first we'll see what are the different kinds of layout which are available for our Android app development. So this is the different layouts which we will be discussing in our coming sections. But to give you just one liner for all this layout and understand before we go into a detailed one, I have just mentioned it in one line. What is a linear layout? So linear layout, to be on a very layman language if you understand, is a view group that aligns all children in single direction, that is vertically or horizontally. So whenever you design a linear layout, all its elements, so all its elements means if you have a text box, if you have a button, if you have a radio button, anything, so those all will be aligned in the same direction, either horizontally or vertically. In that condition you have to take a linear layout. So if positioning matters for you, you have to take all the elements in single direction. Linear layout suits you the best. Then second is the relative layout. Relative layout is a view group that displays child views in relative position. So this we will be discussing. So why we use relative layout? If any of the elements has to be placed in accordance to other elements. Suppose we want to place the text box in accordance to its element like a button, so we have to use a relative layout. So basically relative layout is used for all those scenarios where the position of the child view or other, it has to be in relative to some other element. So relative positions matter for this. Table layout, generally we use this, but it depends again on the conditions, like not frequently used. The frequently used layouts are the linear layout and the relative layout, but for your understanding I have covered over here a table layout as well. Table layout is a view that group views into rows and columns. So as the table name mentions, you have to design a table, a row and a column, so it's better to always use a table layout. Next is your absolute layout. Absolute layout enables you to specify the exact location of its children. So it's basically I'll just tell you in detail with an example in the coming sections. It's something whenever you have to define the exact location of the elements with respect to its children, absolute layout this is also not used frequently. Next is your frame layout. So as the name suggests, it's a placeholder on the screen that you can use to display a single view. So kind of frame. If you want to design a frame element where everything should be displayed in a single view, a frame layout is used. Next is the list view. List view is a view group that displays a list of scrollable items. So suppose your app has some scrollable items. So on a scroll of this, you want to see many text files or many images, many pictures are there. So it's better to go for a list view because it allows you to display a list of scrollable items. Next is your grid view. Grid view is a view group that displays item in two-dimensional scrollable grid. So same as the list view. List view is only the difference is that it does in a single screen, and in a grid view you have two-dimensional scrollable grid. So there is a partition, and in the two-dimensional, so you can scroll it in those partition area. So anyways, I will be discussing all this in detail in our coming sections. So thank you, and let's discuss about linear layout in the next sections.